Welcome to Coecast. My name is Valur Grettisson. I'm editor-in-chief at Reykjavík Grapevine.
Hi, my name is Hannah Jane, and I'm the listings director and culture editor at the Reykjavík Grapevine.
Hannah is with us today for a few reasons. Andy Fontaine is now on vacation. She's getting married.
Congratulations to Andy and Ada.
But a lot of things have happened, not only in our society when it comes to the COVID-19 virus, but also at our office.
This is a very special day because we just got exposed.
Yeah. We're fine. We do not have to quarantine.
Yeah, we don't have to quarantine.
But there was a person here that was
exposed.
Possibly, it was just bad luck. It's like she is fine, and we think that she's most likely not with it. But
yes, most likely not. We've talked to the doctors. We don't have to quarantine, but we do have to wear cool gloves. We've disinfected everything we own.
Yes.
So maybe this is a good thing.
Perhaps, yeah. It was a kind of a wake-up call, to be honest. It's just quite shocking to be in the situation. It's like 1 hour since this happened, this is happening everywhere. So we're in an odd situation. To the news in Iceland when it comes to COVID-19. It was a sad day yesterday. There was an Australian tourist that died. He was in the 40s, the same age as I am. But he was with the COVID-19 virus.
Yes, he tested positive.
But he they think it's very likely that he did not die from it.
Yes.
It's an odd
it's a pretty odd situation.
They're investigating the situation right now, but the infectiologist Þórólfur Guðnason said it was unlikely that he died from the virus alone. And the saddest thing is that he was traveling with his wife, who is a widow now, and she is now quarantined. So it's quite the tragedy, to be honest. Icelanders have taken this by heart. They have Facebook page that is sending her good
well wishes.
Well wishes, yeah.
Condolences, yeah.
And this is Icelanders are devastated because of this. So this is kind of the first death we have that's related to the COVID-19, but it's not because of it, just to be sure.
I think.
But we have been going higher and higher by every day when it comes to the virus.
Yes.
We're now, past days have been quite many getting exposed. So we have now 250 people, Icelanders, that have the coronavirus in Iceland. We have taken 6,500 samples and we have quarantined around, I think, more than 2,000 Icelanders. It means that 6,500 samples means that proportionally we have taken most samples per person in the world.
Per capita, yeah.
Yeah, we still suspect that the virus have not spread widely, but it is in around 1% of the population. That's what they estimate from the decode genetics and stuff like this. So just to put it in some context, it's if we would take 6,500 samples in the U.S. population, it would means that they have taken I think 6 million samples.
Yes, to get that same percentage-wise, it would be 6 million in the States or something.
So it's quite high for Icelanders.
Yeah, it's insane.
But Icelanders are confident about this. It's very obvious that both doctors and the government are very confident that they have this under control.
Yes.
And it's in my opinion, I've been watching this very closely. It's very similar to what South Korea is doing, Hong Kong, Singapore.
Yes.
It's different in a way from China. China went the extra mile, if you can say. You can just look it up. They did amazing things in China. But China also have tested I think over 300,000 people.
Yeah.
So this strategy to test and self-quarantine is working in Iceland.
Yes.
We think.
And people are taking the social distancing very seriously.
Yeah.
A lot of we have an events ban that started yesterday. Essentially everything has been canceled.
Yeah.
but people are finding ways to keep culture alive through live streaming different shows.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Do you want to continue on to the EU?
Yeah, the EU is probably the biggest news that have happened now, today, yes. Which is like the EU have closed the borders in the whole Europe, in the Schengen area. This excludes, though, the UK, of course, because they're not anymore in the EU, but also the EEA countries, which means like Iceland, Norway, and Liechtenstein are not part of this. It means that if you're like from outside of Europe, you can fly to Iceland, but you cannot fly to France, for example. So Iceland is still open, and our government has been very they have protested this harshly. They're not, because they think both like Iceland, of course, I mean everything is stopping, of course, but we are in the situation that the economical impact could be even greater if we would close it completely. And our airline, for example, Iceland Air, which is like kind of like supported very strongly by the government, it could be even cost us even more money to keep them alive. So keep in mind, we're still open, but always check your local government, what they are saying about traveling, and check your air flight and stuff like this, of course.
Yes.
Just be sensible about it. Okay. Also, this is important. All Icelanders that are coming from any country in the world, doesn't matter, if it's Denmark, France, UK, whatever, all of them have to self-quarantine, with no exceptions. This does not include tourists, I think.
No, it does not include tourists. It's kind of peculiar.
Yeah,
but
nobody has said that. It's so it's only Icelanders. It's always so that's what all the news says.
Yeah, I have a few friends who are in quarantine right now because of that.
Yeah,
they just returned. But there's a lot of arguments online about this.
Yeah.
About
But keep in mind, tourists in Iceland haven't infected anyone. It's like
no, it was just Icelanders infecting other people who live here.
So it's like
you
could explain this pretty simply by that Icelandic culture is like doesn't have any connections with tourists or anyone. There is little as like no crossover at the place.
Not in this way where you'd get infected, especially during the event ban if bars are closed.
Yeah, exactly. So right now the things are like that the borders are open both ways. Well, unless we can't go to the US, of course, because of the travel ban. We have to self-quarantine if you're Icelanders coming from abroad, and it's like, and we have our first COVID-19 related death. It's a very it's
a very confusing situation because they're saying he probably did not die due to having COVID. He just tested positive and probably, I assume, had some sort of underlying health conditions or tragic accident or something.
Now I'm gonna go through there are a few questions that we have had. Thank you for that. We love to hear from you, and we feel like it's you're supporting us as well as we are.
Please send us in questions if you have anything to ask about the coronavirus situation here.
The first question here I have is one reader, watcher or listener was saying that they were wondering if we have any update on rights of employees during these COVID-19 times. First of all, nothing really changes. It's like we have quite strong laws about labor in Iceland, and the unions are very, very strong also in Iceland. Everybody is in the union in Iceland. But first question is, what happens if people have to stay at home as the public places with more than 100 people are being shut down? Do they need to take vacation or just stay at home? If you stay home, you are probably Do they need to take vacation or just stay at home?
It's not vacation, no.
I mean, I don't even understand it.
They're asking if someone gets quarantined and they have to stay home, does that come from their vacation days? Like, are they forced to take a vacation? Or they're allowed to stay at home?
No. The government agreed to have with the government, the unions, and I'm not sure what is in English. It's like the association of companies in Iceland. that we will get paid while quarantined, and it would not be even taken off your sick leave.
Yes.
So
I believe this is a question. I believe that question was probably asked by someone in the States because that's a common practice in the States. And especially now, people are just being fired from their jobs. Because of Corona, rather than
And here's another one. Are there any support projects from the government that help mitigate possible income losses? Again, this is probably a very American question. I mean, you will get paid while you're in quarantine, definitely.
Will get paid. That's what you mean?
Yeah, they are paying.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said won't. They will. Yeah. You will get paid from your job while you're in quarantine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think, I hope that answered the question. I mean, there is no doubt about it. No one is gonna lose money from being quarantined. Mostly because it's law in Iceland. You can't break quarantine. It's illegal. You will get hefty fines, or if you do it knowingly that you're sick, you can face prison time.
I mean, to keep it very simple, like let's say you are a waitress here and you got exposed, so you had to go to quarantine. The restaurant you were working for could not just be like, okay, like that's your vacation then, or okay, we just won't pay you because you're not here. If you were on salary, I guess, but I mean, like if you were an employee there or whatever, like they can't just do that. Whereas in the States, they're doing that. So I think that's just to underlie how shitty employee rights are in the States.
Yeah, well, that I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
But we are if you, and then we have the last question here, which is what happens if people are getting laid off? So I guess it's like if you're getting laid off because you have you have to self-quarantine, that is not a good enough reason, I think.
I think that's definitely illegal.
Yeah, it's probably illegal, although we're in times that we're not quite sure how things will pan out. But my first guess would that it's not a good enough reason to fire you, of course. But if you are, I mean, a lot of companies are obviously gonna they have to lay people off, not because of the coronavirus, like the staff, but because just less customers and stuff like this.
Like loss of money in business because of this.
And then of course you have the right for unemployment benefits, which is more or less it's not that far off from some monthly payment, but it's not high, but it should get you through the hardest while you look for work.
Yes.
So you'll get paid if you actually lose your job. Another Alana Brennan asked here, should we come to Iceland or stay at home? They want to travel to Iceland from Ireland, I guess.
Well.
Yeah, it's a tricky question, definitely. I mean.
Well, okay, from my understanding, you could go to Iceland. It would be coming back to Ireland. That would be the issue.
No,
it's fine because you can leave. It's just traveling. If you were traveling from Ireland to France, that would be impossible. Ireland's
Ireland is fine.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you want to travel to Iceland, yes, you can. Will you get affected by the virus? Probably not.
Probably not.
Is it is this a good time to travel? Not really. But I mean, if you think about it, there is no one as good for Geysir.
Yeah, you will get amazing pictures and views actually if you can right now. So maybe this is that time, and if you want an authentic experience. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a fine time to fly, but of course the situation.
Yeah.
Double check everything and stuff like this. But we are definitely open, but again, then we have, of course, like everyone else, like a gathering ban and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so it would probably be very odd to be here.
Oh yeah.
So this I'm kind of done then with.
Okay, I'll go into my part.
Yeah. The only reason I got Hannah to be with me, not because she knows everything.
I don't know anything about this coronavirus
but because
situation.
she is more fun than I am, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what the hell you're gonna do while quarantine.
So I don't really know anything about the coronavirus situation. I was kind of a corona denier up until last week when I abruptly changed my position when I realized that it wasn't some sort of mass hysteria media conspiracy or something. I don't know. Anyway,
you were kind of banned from reporting anything about the coronavirus.
Yeah, because I didn't think it was a big deal. But anyway, I am here because Andy is on vacation. So I want to talk about how you can still have fun and experience culture and stuff while you're in quarantine. So the idea of, not even in quarantine, in social distancing. So the idea of social distancing is sort of how you mitigate a pandemic. And it is sort of deliberately avoiding physical interactions, which slows down the spread of the virus. The New York Times did a really good report on this with like interactive graphs. Check that out. Unless you don't have a subscription. Anyway, I didn't. I got a subscription because of this. Anyway, so I think like the first thing I'd recommend is that there are so many people who are, you know, had concerts or different events that were going to go on in Iceland within the next few months that have now been cancelled. Mm-hmm. But people are still trying to bring entertainment to those who are social distancing or in quarantine over the internet.
We need culture.
Yeah, we need culture. We don't want to be bored as hell. Yeah. So there are a lot of performance groups and a lot of musicians live streaming shows. A lot of this is to be announced, but Aldrei fór ég suður, which is a festival in Ísafjörður every year during Easter. It's very big.
Absolutely unique festival. Very local in the most remote place in Iceland, in the west of Iceland.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. They will be live streaming. So that's over Easter. So that's April 11th, 12th or something.
Sure.
I was supposed to be in Copenhagen then. Thanks, Corona. Anyway,
but so Denmark, they went just full. They just closed everything. Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. On the international front, I would highly recommend. Oh yeah, just to go back to Iceland, check venue Facebook pages because they will be the ones advertising whether shows are going to be live streamed or going on. But again, a lot of people are planning. I mean, just to name, Mistrming, a black metal band, did an awesome live stream show last week after their concerts were cancelled. You should check that out on their Facebook page. It was really, really well made. Again, there's so much going on. So that's something you should check out. On the international front, the Metropolitan Opera is live streaming a bunch of really fucking good operas over the next week, and they are with incredibly famous people. So basically all of the biggest shows like La Traviata, I mean, like they're getting, like you'll have performances with Anna Netrebko, Natalie Dessay, Renee Fleming, like these are big people. Like and it's free. Normally you have to pay lots of money for this to see in person, or they have the HD lives you can watch. This is all free. And if you've ever wanted to see like actually the best opera in the world, for free with the best singers in the world, I should highly recommend checking that out.
Yeah, just connect the computer to your Apple TV and just go nuts on a Wednesday night.
The other thing I was going to recommend is online classes. Usually when people are forced to stay inside and they say they're going to be... Are you wiping your nose?
Yeah, I'm really itchy.
We're all gonna die. Oh my god. Okay, good thing we have gloves. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I feel like when you live in Iceland as a foreigner, you constantly say that you are going to start concentrating hardcore on Icelandic like next month or next season. You're always like, I'll get to it. This is a perfect time. So there's Icelandic Online, which is icelandiconline.com, which is sort of the premier resource for learning Icelandic online. It's actually used as a self-study course in Háskóli Íslands when they teach you Icelandic, for reference of how good it is. It's a website with, I don't know how many levels, 5 or so, but it's a mixture of reading, writing, listening, grammar, really anything you would need to know other than speaking. And it's actually very interesting, and they have like, it's not boring. Like I remember it's not boring. What I mean is it's not like,
do you know
no, do you know like when you learn, I don't know, like French or Spanish or some language in school, it's always like, where's the bibliothèque? Like it's just like you're learning stuff that you're not really care about. And Icelandic Online, they have like local musicians that you're talking about, or you're in the pool. It's more interesting, I guess. Other than that, there's the Drops app. Duolingo and a lot of language learning apps do not offer Icelandic. Drops does. It's mainly vocabulary, sort of random, but it's fun. I'd highly recommend that. For those who already know Icelandic or don't care about using a virtually useless language, there are tons of classes. I mean, there's Khan Academy you can learn on, but I would highly recommend. There's 8 Ivy League universities: Harvard, Princeton, Brown, UPenn, Columbia. I don't know. That's whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who are offering...
Is that like Ivy League?
Yes.
Really?
He's teasing me because I went there. And that's really all I have to offer the world. Anyway, no, they are teaching there's 450 online classes that they offer online for free, and they're amazing, and you'll get some like really spectacular professors, like very famous, very well established. The one I'd particularly recommend due to the current situation we're in is The Age of Sustainable Development by Jeffrey Sachs, who's a very famous economist who sort of developed even the idea of like what sustainable development looks like in the 21st century.
Any connection with Goldman Sachs or?
No. I don't think so, actually. Oh God, no conspiracy. No, I think it's a common last name. No, Jeffrey Sachs is awesome. He's great. I would highly recommend that just because we're in the age of where that's relevant. If not, there's lots of great art history courses.
Also, also you just want to write your novel or short story.
Oh, that's like the last idea.
Yeah, like
that's like I mean, like this is your moment.
On day 13 in the quarantine, like what do I do? Yeah, that's
my other thing for culture would be so if you like have to leave your house, you're social distancing and you start losing your mind, I think the only two things I would recommend are going hiking, preferably in a more isolated location. You can do that.
Well, if you're in Iceland, it's not that much of a problem actually. You can go. There are a lot of ways to do this.
Yeah.
And you never meet anyone in the nature here.
No, I mean I think that's like the number one safest thing you can do. But if you really want to go out of your house and you don't want to be, like sitting. You don't want to be like sitting around. You can go to museums here. They are checking. That there are only 100 people in the museum, and that's the entire museum. That's not just an exhibit.
The museums are open. That's true.
Yes, a fair amount of them. Like all the Listasafn Reykjavíkur, like Hafnarhús, Kjalvarstaður. They're all open.
Just always check before. It will be very clear on their homepage.
But they're all taking it quite seriously. Yeah. Now, online, if you're in quarantine or you can't leave or you're sick, there are a lot of museums online that have virtual tours that are actually really great. I tried them all this weekend to see if they were actually good or not. The British Museum opens up the Great Hall, which means you can see like the Rosetta Stone and mummies and Egypt stuff. That's very cool. You can go to the Guggenheim. You can sort of go up the staircase to the Guggenheim. So they have some great modern art or whatever, contemporary, whatever you want to call it. The Pergamon, the Musée d'Orsay. There's a fair amount. You can find the list online. Other than that, this is
you.
Someone's calling me.
Yeah.
Professional. Anyway, other than that, I guess the number one thing would do is this is your moment, authors. To write that novel. It's like finally
get the space and time and like the privacy.
Yeah.
And at least if you're in Iceland, you get also paid for it, so you can call a professional writer for like 14 days.
I was thinking,
like a writer.
I'm a writer.
Yeah.
I was thinking like this would also be a great time to finally read Ulysses, or to read the cliff notes of Ulysses, so you can pretend that you read it over quarantine. Let's be real.
Yeah. I've been going to read like 15 books now in 2 years, but I never do it.
Ulysses?
Yeah, I'm never going to read that.
No, why should I read that? Life's too short.
Why should anyone read that?
That's a totally different podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways. Other ideas. I've been doing a lot of I like working out, and I'm not going to the gym right now because I'm scared. So I've been doing a lot of YouTube workout videos. There's amazing content on YouTube for yoga, for dance, for everything. So I check that out. I also think this is a great time to get back into the habit of writing love letters. Because if you're in quarantine, you can't see your significant other. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Love letters. Well, I think that's beautiful.
I have a plan. If my girlfriend's going to get affected, I'm just going to go straight up and kiss her and get the disease also.
And get in quarantine.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
What are you going to do? Not quarantine with her?
That would be... Oh, I didn't think about that. I was thinking you were vacation. That would be so sad. Oh, that's going to be a movie in a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Love in the time of Corona.
If I see that if I see that headline,
it's so good.
Everybody's saying this. I hate it, and everybody that knows the story is also ugh, it's not as good as they say. Even the movies are all bad.
Above all else, I would recommend getting fit, cutting down possessions, hoarding water, toilet paper, and gasoline, and souping up your car, because I think the Mad Max gangs are going to start soon, and I want to be a winner. not a loser.
Do not forget the toilet paper.
Yeah, no, that's a joke. Anyway, also, like, food is not going to be a scarcity in Iceland currently, so don't be an asshole.
Reykjavík is very safe right now. It's very we basically what Reykjavík has turned into now, because of we have lesser tourists and everything. It feels like Reykjavík was in 2009, basically, when I was 29 years old. Then everything was just fewer on the streets, and it was a little bit more boring to be here. Yeah. But then the tourist boom came, and it was much more fun. We got fun food and everything.
Yeah.
But so the only difference is if you come to Iceland, or if you are in Iceland as a tourist or whatever, this is basically it's like how Iceland was.
So this is day 4. Again, remember to keep social distancing.
Yeah.
EU is closed its borders.
We'll be here again tomorrow, of course, on similar time. We try to do this always at noon. So we publish this at 4 o'clock.
I will do some research, so I'll be better informed tomorrow.
It's okay. You did fine. You did way too much research on what to do in Iceland. But thank you for watching, and remember one thing: we have this called High Five Club.
Wait, can I do this pitch?
Yeah.
Okay. So because of the coronavirus, tourism has dipped in Iceland, and things are going to be very difficult at the Grapevine for the foreseeable future. Because we are an independent news source that relies entirely on advertising. If you enjoy our content and want to see more of it, we have started something called the High Five Club, which is a monthly subscription service where you can pay, the lowest is €3 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee in Reykjavik per month. The highest is €18 a month if you really love us. And we love you. Basically, it just gives us the ability to support the people who work here and continue making content for all of the readers, I guess. So please consider joining that. It would really greatly help us. We have rents to pay. We like to eat.
You do?
Yeah, we like to eat.
I'm doing keto right now. I'm still trying keto. It's really hard.
How long have you been on keto?
Months. In this apocalyptic atmosphere, keto is quite hard. But
that's a totally different... that's when we completely run out of topics on this COVID podcast.
But please help. Even small amounts helps. So, and you already have actually been very helpful.
Yes, thank you so much to people who have already signed up. We just started this, and we've had a very nice response. So, other than that, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like this video if you're watching it on YouTube.
Share it and like it if it's on Facebook. And give us thumbs up if you listen to that podcast.
And send us questions if you have anything, or if you just want to say hi.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.